Hello, we're back. Look who's with me. Jennie's here. Welcome to Seekers Chronicles, Paranormal Historians, where the history meets the paranormal. Hey. So,
Hey.
how you doing, everybody out there? We got a bunch of people already in the audience. Glad to see
Yeah, hi
everybody. Thank you
everybody.
for being there. Look,
hmm
all these people. This is great when the people show
I
up.
know, I love
You know,
it. It's a party
yeah,
already.
and I don't have to send any money out to put people on. They just
You
seem
don't
to.
have to threaten
I
anyone.
don't. I don't have to go in. Hey, you're watching the show tonight. Hey, you don't want to visit, do you, Uncle Vito?
Exactly. Yeah, get out the hammer.
Get the old ball bean hammer out and take care of the kneecaps. You know what I'm saying? No,
Yeah,
we
I
don't have
do.
to. I mean, I'm glad everybody comes to the audience. I mean, this is,
Super grateful.
we have such a
Yeah,
great audience and everybody watching. I want to thank them for, and it's Thanksgiving. So I'm
I
thankful.
know.
I'm thankful for our audience, our guest. We had a really good run so far. And let's have
Yeah,
another good run
59,
for the next year to going in.
episode 59.
59.
I
Awesome.
know.
Remember
More,
we
it's
started
older than
one?
me.
Yeah. And we didn't have to bring people in. Say, hey, you're watching the show. This is great that people who's coming on, they're actually watching us.
No,
So,
all our friends are here. And
yeah.
Kimm will be back next week, I believe. Kimm's back next. Kimm just got back from Indonesia
Yeah.
today, I believe.
Singapore,
Yeah,
Indonesia.
Indonesia,
Bali,
Bali.
I think she went to.
Yeah, Bali. Yeah, so don't feel sorry for her.
Yeah, I know. She went on a nice little vacation after she busting a butt uh,
Yeah,
the
she
whole summer
left
and
us.
everything at work. So, um, we Jenny and I had a good weekend.
We did.
We actually went and we went to the Ritz Theater. Um, I got a couple pictures of the stuff from the other night.
Oh, good. I
This
was hoping you did. Yeah, we were together.
this was the event we were at the other night, and it was great. Everybody there. There was filmmakers and everything. It was awesome, awesome event. Frankie, he did a great job getting us all together, and they had a special guest that they interviewed on stage later on, and
Who?
he didn't make it on
On the poster?
the poster,
Yeah, but
but look who's on stage.
look at that.
Look at that. That little round ball there, that's me.
Stop it. Round's a shape. You're in shape.
Yeah, I'm in shape. I'm in the round shape. But yeah, Frankie pulled me on stage at the end and was talking to me about questions about my how I got into the paranormal, all the stuff, and my drawings. And it was great. It was a great event. Look who else is
There I
there.
am.
Look at her
Yep.
shirt. I like that. Seekers Club of the
Do you like that?
Paranormal. That's
That's
the
how I
great
joined the
shirt.
group. I made a
Seekers Club
shirt.
of Paranormal. So if anybody in the audience don't know, that's my team that I founded back in 1996, and we're still around. So everybody, this is great that we're still around. And we also had another special guest show up, and I really like this guy. Some people were afraid of him, but I thought he was cool.
Oh, the poltergeist
Older
clown.
guy,
Clown
yeah,
from the movie.
I love it. They're here, you know.
Oh man.
So we had a good time. It was a good event. We had a couple other people there that, matter of fact, they're going to be on the show. With A&L.
Yeah, go Seeking Ghosts with A&L. That was Leah
Yeah,
with me in the picture. Yeah.
yeah, they're going to be on.
From New York. They're coming soon.
Yeah, they're going to be on in June. No, we're booked all the way into March
I know.
already.
I know.
We're booked into March, and we could go further, but I don't want to go any further because we get to when you get out that far, sometimes people forget or they, you know, make other things happen. They go other places and stuff. We
Yeah.
took a
I can
picture.
plan more than a week
Remember
ahead.
what we've seen in the corner of the stage, and we took both with a bunch of pictures. I took this one.
What is that?
That's a bad one.
Yeah, that's pixelated.
That's pixelated too much. But I did take a picture of, and it looked like somebody looking out of the corner of the stage. So that was crazy how that.
Yeah. Yeah, Anthony
Had a
has a
lot of
picture where it looks like someone has a hand going around the curtain. You can literally
Mhm.
see like a hand and
And you can
fingers
see the
and someone
head and everything. I
really
wish
good.
I put the wrong one on,
It's
but
okay. Really good stuff. Yeah.
we had a lot of
So the
stuff, a
Ritz
lot of
Theater,
stuff.
awesome
Hmm.
place. Haddon Township, New Jersey. If anybody can get there, the Parasite Project, they do a great job.
Yeah, this is the actual theater, and they actually it's a still working theater. Matter of
Yeah.
fact, they were doing had some kind of Christmas show. They had
Hmm.
on stage that behind what we were um, was a what do you call it, gingerbread house they built,
Yeah.
and they
They have a
had the
set.
nutcracker on each side and
Yeah.
everything. So it was good.
It's a
It was a
beautiful
good
place. A
event.
vaudeville theater built in 1927. Really
Mhm.
amazing place. So
Yeah,
come
Frankie did a good
investigate.
job. Let me see. I got Frankie's picture up here too. Yeah, Frankie. Yeah,
There he is.
there he is,
There's the
and
guy.
he
Frankie
did a good
Deo.
job getting it together. Um, so yeah, he had his own thing going on there.
Yeah,
With the
really,
future
really
stuff.
interesting.
Yeah, it was very good how he brought. He's trying to get some sort of what is he? What is he, a therapist? What's he do?
Yeah, he's a psychologist. Yeah,
Yeah, and he's trying to bring that into the paranormal, and
a
he has
social worker.
headgear
Yeah.
that I put on that I actually wore, um, and I actually did the experiment with them, and it's pretty good. Matter of fact, I think he's going to continue to experiment with me, with Michelle, and there was another psychic. He said,
Okay.
um, so it should be
The
fun.
neurovisor, correct? The
Yeah,
neurovisor. Yeah.
Neurovisor.
Pretty interesting. And yeah, if you can check out events there, if you're anywhere near New Jersey, I recommend it. I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to be at one on January 3rd. No, 10th. I don't know. No, the 10th we're
Yeah,
at the Shanley.
we're
January
at the
3rd.
Shanley.
January 3rd.
Yeah, we're at the
Yeah, I
Shanley
told you I
Theater
can't
with
think that
Nine
far ahead.
Lives, Gail and Kara,
Yep.
and a group, and Lisa Lely going to be there.
Really? Okay.
Lisa, oh, I forgot her last name. The psychic.
Morrison.
Lisa
Lisa
Morrison will
Morrison.
be
That's
there
what I'm here
with her
for,
husband.
to finish your sentences.
Yeah, that's what somebody has to finish my sentences
Yeah,
because sometimes I
I
don't even
got
know how
you.
to start them. So
I got you. We got a guest tonight. We're going
yes,
on and on. We got an
yes.
amazing guest. This guest, I'm going to take complete credit for because this was my idea. I met this guest in Gettysburg and I was like, let's go. We got to get him on the show. It's going to be amazing. And can't wait to bring him out here for you guys. You ready? You ready? I'm
Yep.
actually going to do something I never do. Typically, I don't do a big long introduction, but in one of his books that I have, I just love the introduction, the description so much. So I'm going to read it really quickly, if that's okay. And I hope he doesn't mind either. Tonight we
He
have
hasn't
Adam.
fallen asleep yet
Yes.
behind stage. I'm watching him right
I'm
now.
sorry. You
He
can
hasn't
bring
fallen
him
asleep
out.
yet.
You can bring him out. We have Adam Chefs tonight. Bring him out.
Hey, everyone.
Hello. Hi, Adam, who I'm taking
Hi.
credit for.
Jenny. Hi,
For
Anthony.
whom I'm
Yeah,
taking credit.
She's taking credit. She's taking all the credit in the world, and I had nothing to do with it.
Well, you have to understand that.
You both came around to my
Okay,
table, so you can both
fair.
take credit.
Mhm.
Fair. That's fair, but Anthony gets all the guests, so I had to have one. Adam, I love in the back of your book, so many people have, descriptions of themselves, but I love yours because it says you've been researching the obscure, strange, and entertaining side of America's 19th and early 20th century for a number of years. Obscure, strange, and entertaining. Three words we love on this show.
Good.
I had to read that. It's just so good.
That's like my
you're a
life. That's the story of my life. You just described me.
He is the Victorian historian, which I could say 100 times tonight because it just sounds so good. The Victorian historian. Welcome to the show. We've been so excited to have you.
Glad to be here.
There he goes.
Oh,
there he is. I love it. You got the look.
One thing I got to say, you're the best dressed guest we have.
Thank you. Got to dress the part.
Yeah, he's always the best. Every time you see him, he has a nice outfit on, and I'm like, he's the best guest dress.
No,
What
It's so
best
good.
guest dress?
thank you.
Oh gosh.
Guest, something like that.
We know what you said. We know
Yeah,
what
Yeah,
you
I
said. No,
can't come on as the Victorian historian and not wear something Victorian looking.
I love it. I kind of felt like dressing up too, and I thought maybe that might look a little ridiculous, but
No.
like full Victorian dress.
Oh no, you would have looked fine. You would have
yeah,
That
looked
would have
great.
been good.
he would have
Yeah.
liked it. I would have laughed.
I don't have the hair for it. Yeah, no, he would have laughed for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely.
He already makes fun of me for being such a big fan of our guests. He calls me
Fangirl.
fangirl. So
I
forget
already
it.
warned him about the fangirl.
Way over the top. Way over the top. So Adam, hi.
Yes. Hi.
We
Thank you for having me.
we usually like to start at you're happy to have you. We usually like to start at the beginning. And I think you know what I'm saying by that. We start at the beginning on this show. So we want to know where you're from and how you got to be what you are
Yes.
today, how you got to be involved in the obscure and the strange and the
Yeah, absolutely. I
entertaining.
should start off by saying that I'm not able to see comments, so I don't know if anyone is commenting right now. But if you're commenting and I don't respond, I'm not ignoring you. I just can't see the comments.
Okay.
So
We'll post them, but if you can't see them, then we'll read them. If you have,
Okay.
we'll read the questions.
Okay, sure. Yeah, so I grew up in Connecticut. I lived most of my life in Connecticut. And I would say about the time Ghost Hunters came on TV, which was what, 2000? Well, I don't remember how long ago that was. 2014 or so?
2004.
It was like 20
Um,
years ago.
Oh, no,
I
not
remember it was
2014.
2004.
Like 2004, yeah.
Yeah, because
Um,
that's when they opened the paranormal for most of us people that have been hiding in the shadows.
Yeah, yeah,
They let the paranormal people out of the closet.
exactly.
There you go.
Yeah. So I never had any experience growing up. I don't have any interesting backstory. But I found the show interesting. And as I'm watching it, my mind is going, what is there to be afraid of? Why are people afraid of ghosts or spirits? What is there to be afraid of? And I thought that what I was seeing on TV was kind of interesting. I'd never heard of anyone investigating the paranormal. I certainly hadn't done it. But I ended up finding a local group, a paranormal investigations group. And so I figured, you know what, this looks kind of interesting. I'm going to reach out to them, see if I can join. And so I did that. And we started investigating right away. First investigation was at a fire station. Um, and
Oh, nice.
That's awesome.
and you just sort of build a camaraderie with your peers.
Mhm.
And we not only became co-investigators, but we became good friends also. That team ended up folding 2 years later. And then I should say I started in 2009. That team folded 2007 rather, 2 years later, and I started my own team in 2009. And of course, I brought friends onto the team. We brought in strangers that we didn't know who were really interested in investigating. We became
Right.
friends with them. I ran that team for about 9 years. And then in 2017, I decided to move to Gettysburg. So
Wow.
Gettysburg was
Just like that.
yeah, just like that. So Gettysburg was a place where friends and I would go. We would take annual trips there. And one by one, my friends were getting married and having families of their own. So we could no longer travel together the way we once had. So that left me by myself. So I still wanted to go. I still enjoyed Gettysburg, the history of it, just the energy of the town. You both have been there. You know what it's like.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, Anthony
And,
would
Hold you back once you go there.
yeah. And so I said to myself, either I'm going to keep on visiting myself or I'll just get a job transfer and move. And that's what I did. A month later, I got a job transfer and moved. And
nice.
yeah, so now I live just outside of Gettysburg. I'm still in Gettysburg quite a lot. I'm only 20 minutes away. But it is one of those places, and it makes me wonder, what is it about Gettysburg? So there are thousands of people that visit Gettysburg every year. What is it about Gettysburg that only draws certain people to want to move and live there? I've always thought about that,
Yeah.
every year there's more and more people that end up moving there. What is it that drew those people, and not necessarily others who visited over time? So just the way my mind works, just some
Mhm.
I don't know. I just
No, mine too. I question everything. I want to know why.
Mhm.
So
hmm,
I agree. And I feel like part of it for me is I'm not a sensitive, I'm not a medium. I have no degree of sensitivity, but I feel like even I going there, you sense like sacred, the sacred there, or like it's very hallowed, like you don't know what to expect the first time you go to the battlefield. And it's just a different feeling than I expected. What was it like for you the first time you went to Gettysburg? What was your first impression?
first time. You could definitely feel the history. You could definitely
Yeah.
feel just the energy of the town, just
Yeah.
the people of the town. There's something special about it.
Mm-hmm.
But also Gettysburg is where I had a very prominent paranormal experience. I'm not
Ooh,
sensitive either.
okay.
Um, I kind of wish I was, but
Me
to an
too.
extent,
I hang out with one.
yeah. um, I can't draw the way Anthony can. No, I can
Yeah.
draw a mean stick figure though, but not the way he can. Um, but we were taking a ghost tour. So actually, there's two stories. If you don't mind, I'll share them pretty quickly.
Please, you're the
Um,
guest.
Yes.
so there's two stories. So this was probably back in 2013, 2014. And I came to Gettysburg with five friends. So there were three guys and three girls,
Mhm.
and we took a ghost tour at night. We were renting the Little Round Top Farmhouse for a
Okay.
week,
Oh, cool.
and
Nice.
beautiful place, it really is.
It is.
And so we took this ghost tour, which ended on the middle school ground, which is where there was vicious fighting during the Battle of Gettysburg,
Hmm.
specifically by the oh, I forgot what unit they were from. The Wolverines, Louisiana Tigers. Um, there's all kinds of stories about them, just vicious, violent fighters. And so the tour ended. The six of us were now heading back to our car to go back to the place we were renting. As our backs were turned to the middle school, all six of us together were hit from behind by some energy. It was very
Whoa.
powerful energy. All of us simultaneously lost our balance and almost fell forward.
Six
We
of you.
all,
That's
we
wild.
all, yeah,
Wow.
we all caught ourselves though. Um, the other five recovered immediately. My energy was messed up, for lack of a better word, for the next 4 days. I felt agitated. I felt angry. I felt sad. And that's not me. you know
No.
and, and 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 I almost didn't want to go out with my friends to enjoy the rest of our time visiting Gettysburg. I had to force myself to go out and be social. But each day that feeling um, dissipated a little more until after the fourth day it was completely gone. I was back to normal. But that was um, that was quite an interesting experience. I never experienced anything like that, even in all
Yeah.
my years of investigating. The second experience happened at Devil's Den. This was another evening that during that same trip. Again, the six of us were climbing up the boulders at Devil's Den. It was dark out, and as I'm climbing up, I smell urine. It's a very faint smell of urine, but as I got higher up the boulders, it got stronger. Until I got to the top, it was very pungent. The other five were still down below. They were doing, kind of taking pictures and doing some EVP sessions, and I called them up to where I was. I wanted to see if they could smell the urine as I was smelling it. I looked around with a flashlight. I thought maybe an animal, there was some animal, or maybe
Mhm.
I don't know what I thought, what I expected
Right.
to see. Um, so the other five come up to join me. Only the guys could smell it. The girls could not smell a thing.
Wow.
Yeah, they
Interesting.
couldn't smell a thing. And that makes me wonder, and I could be completely wrong about this. It's just a theory that Devil's Den is where, as you know, vicious fighting occurred, and that's
Yeah.
where the Confederates
Hmm.
fell along Devil's Den. Um, you've heard the term, Southern gentlemen.
Mhm.
Was that smell of urine a soldier's final moment that they wanted to express, um, but didn't want to offend the ladies?
Or maybe.
Huh.
Being a
You had
certain
women. Okay, you had how many women with you? How many men? Like you
so
were
3 women, yeah, 3 women, 3 men,
three and
and
three. Okay,
all
That's
all the
interesting.
men could smell it. The women couldn't smell a thing, and
that
it
is
makes me
so.
wonder: was the spirit preventing the ladies from smelling that?
Mhm.
I
And,
I
and, and
I like
That's
that.
interesting.
I like that.
Very interesting.
to not be offensive
Yeah.
to the
Right.
ladies. Yeah.
Right. Because the
Again, I
ladies
could be
are not
wrong.
fighting.
But,
Yeah.
hmm.
Yeah.
That
I mean,
Devil's Den was a bad fight, and
it
the
was.
snipers from the Confederates were there shooting up into big was it big round
Little round top.
Little
little
round.
round top. It was shooting up there, but Devil's Den has this also. After the battle, a lot of people died that fell between the rocks, and they couldn't get the bodies out, and they left it there until the
Yeah.
body rotted until they could get them out. And when people get killed too, well, they usually release your bowels and everything else. So maybe that was also
That's true.
smell of urine because somebody was killed there too, or of all the bodies that were in there too. So
Yeah.
that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Those are my two Gettysburg experiences. So
Those
yeah,
are pretty phenomenal.
that is
I mean, the
wild.
fact that all of you felt that energy, it's almost like maybe a front of men fighting pass through you or
hmm,
pass. I
Yeah,
don't know.
and
yeah.
I don't.
the location you first got hit by the school,
Yes.
they were finding bodies of Confederate soldiers after the battle for years,
Hmm.
up to
Yeah.
almost 50 years after that. And they found like 17 soldiers that were buried there, like in an L shape. And in that place, also, there's a lot of light anomalies. You go in there and you'll see a light shoot by, and all different colors. And it's crazy too because they're not sure what the lights are. Because matter of fact, I have pictures of lights in that area, and also you could see lines going by, and they think it's bullets being shot at nighttime.
Oh wow.
Lights and stuff. Yeah, but
Interesting.
Gettysburg is one big place, and I've been going there since 2013. No, maybe before that. 2000. No, my first time I was there was 2008, and that's when I started experiencing. And then I had to go every year after that.
Yeah.
Twice a year, I used to go on my birthday, and then we slowed down later on because it's a big trip to drive out there for us.
Yeah.
But I love
Yeah.
that. Gettysburg is one of my favorite places.
Hmm.
It is.
Yeah, but yeah, that's
It
interesting.
is. And
Yeah.
if you're a historian, I mean, it's the place to go, right? I
Oh,
Yeah.
mean,
of course. Of
Mhm.
course.
I I
One
feel
of the
it's
places. Yeah.
yeah, for sure. I mean, if you're, interested in American history, we always talk about New Jersey being, such a hotbed of Revolutionary War activity, right? But if you're, you can't be a Civil War historian without going to Gettysburg. Of course
Mhm.
not.
Mhm.
You
So,
know,
I
Absolutely.
mean,
absolutely.
were you into the history before you became an investigator, or you got into it afterwards? Because I know I hated history growing up in school and everything, and when I got into investigating, now you get into these old buildings and you're standing with 400-year-old buildings, and you're like, 400 years ago, there's people that were standing in the same spot
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was. And
You
Yeah.
got
that's
to
what
know.
amazed me. The way they put the buildings together, the way all that stuff, that's why I got into the history. So is that the same way you got into it?
Yeah,
Or
your background is actually very much like mine. I was not interested in history growing up. I did horrible in school. I pretty much flunked history every year.
That's
So
the
crazy.
average?
and as I got older, same thing like Anthony just said, you go into these old locations and you start, I don't know, it just ignites something in you
Mhm.
that makes you interested in the history of this location and the people that once walked through it. And I can't explain it. It's just the passion of history kind of grew as I matured.
Yeah.
Um,
Sure.
and it really, I mean, paranormal and history, as you know, go hand in hand. And with all the equipment that's out today, all the high tech equipment, and who knows what type of equipment is going to be available in the future. I mean,
Right.
who
Yeah, I
knows
know.
what other avenue, what other field can you literally communicate with the past, with those who once lived before you, than the paranormal? I mean, you can't communicate with spirits, or you can't communicate with people of the past other than with, these electronic devices that we use today in the paranormal field. So, I think historians are coming around a little more. I know historians have poo-pooed the paranormal for quite some time, but I think there are some now that are coming around and saying, "Oh, maybe it's not so much to laugh about."
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
So,
Right. I mean, there's questions, right? We have so many
Mhm.
questions about history, right? I mean, so
yeah,
much of it is just, anecdotal, correct? Like we
yeah,
don't know for sure. And wouldn't it be interesting to get it from the horse's mouth, right? Like you get
exactly.
an EVP. We have a pre-Revolutionary War house near me, and they ask me questions all the time. They're like, "Can you find out why this wall is here? And can you find out, like, if this is really what George Washington looked like,
Hmm.
when he came here?" And it's, you want answers, right? Like you're
Yeah,
looking back and you want answers. I get it.
yeah, yeah. And I mean, it is great. Like I said, I've investigated for 11 years total, and when you reach out to a specific individual and basically bring up their past and things
Mhm.
that they experienced, and then hear a response to the questions, it's, I mean, look, nothing in this field can be proven, but
Right. Of course. We know
um,
nothing.
yeah, and but with the technology advancing the way it is, that could potentially change, and I think that's exciting. I think
Yeah.
it's exciting.
I'm waiting for
I,
somebody to build that phone that you could call up a dead member of your family and say,
Aw.
"How you
Uh,
doing?" You know, that'd be great. I mean, if you get some history, like you said, how can you get to know all these, if the history is right or why certain things are? If somebody that's in the spirit world could actually speak to you and and tell you, well, yeah, this is what really happened or something like that. That'd be because history, as you know, like you said, it was written by whoever was writing it, their point of view, or makes them look better in wars, who won, who how the battles went and stuff. So it's depending who the
Yeah.
person that
yeah,
actually put it on paper.
It's so
but
subjective. That's what I was
yeah,
trying to
it
say.
is.
Yeah.
It is. And you know what? All the equipment that's out today, I know how to use none of it. Because the equipment I used when I investigated was simple high cameras, digital audio recorders. I didn't have any of this high tech equipment. So if you were to
Right.
put a piece of equipment in my hand, I would have no idea how to use it. But it's just
So
interesting to know that it's out there and being used
Yeah.
in this respect.
Yeah,
I
I
love
remember
it.
when
I
we
love
first
that.
started back then, and I mentioned this on the show all the time. We used to buy out paranormal equipment. It was in paranormal equipment. It was hardware stores,
It was
Yeah.
Home Depot.
a Home Depot, or it was just a mom and pop hardware store. You walk in and you buy something, and none of it was actually made for the paranormal. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
the EMF meters was not made for the paranormal.
No,
It was
no.
made to measure the what's coming off a panel, or what's coming from the earth or something like that. And even the
Yeah.
thermal cameras that we use, that's not used for that. That we use for, especially in construction, to find cold spots in areas, or even as an electrician, you could use it to see different phases that came into the panel, and which phase was hot. That means it was uneven load. So you have to figure it out. It's A, B, or C load, and you have to figure out the A loads or the B and what's overloaded. So none of the
Yeah.
equipment that came out back then was actually made for paranormal.
mm,
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
Todd just joined us, Todd Coco.
yeah,
And I know you were on his show, Stay Haunted. And
Hey, Todd.
he and I were just watching a podcast earlier tonight where Bobby Gallo was talking about using Geiger counters and the
Oh,
paranormal.
okay.
So Adam, there you go.
Yeah,
yeah.
That's one of those futuristic uses.
yeah.
No,
But but dude,
everybody's been using stuff. everything is coming in now with paranormal, but a lot of stuff we tried using back then. I used to measure sound, you know, to measure the sound and see if I could get some sound from like something coming in before, get the EMFs.
Mm.
I mean EVPs. Sound count. It's we use so much stuff. I got a closet full of stuff I used to buy from the hardware store of things I could think I could use to find a ghost.
He used to use coat hangers as dowsing rods, so
Yeah.
he's old.
Yeah.
I used to use the stick with the wooden stick with the what's that
yeah.
called? To find spirits.
Mm.
Yeah.
The
The
dinosaurs.
dinosaurs.
I used to
Sorry,
get
Adam, we got off on a tangent, but no, I
Yeah,
agree
yeah,
with you.
sorry.
Like, what are we gonna
Um,
what are we gonna use in the future, right?
Yeah, exactly. But to answer your question though, so yeah, so I investigated. I ran my own team for 9 years. We worked with historical societies throughout Connecticut. Um, we gave public presentations. The money that we brought in from ticket sales would go toward renovations of their historic properties, and also programming that historical societies would put on. So now it comes time for me. I decided to move to Pennsylvania in 2017. I had to
Mhm.
unfortunately disband my team because I owned all the equipment. I couldn't just leave it behind. But everyone else went their own way as well.
Mhm.
And so I moved to Gettysburg and ended up reinventing myself about a year later as the Victorian historian. And what I ended up doing is my passion. Yes, I'm very interested in the paranormal, but my love is history. And the weirder and stranger the history, the better. So I remember going through
Love it.
some newspaper archives and just kind of, I love the old ads. And
Mhm.
you could go down rabbit holes in these old ads and lose hours, and that's what happens to me. So I was going through these old papers, and I came across this story from I don't know 1890 something about a ghost sighting, and I'm like, oh, that's pretty interesting. And then I ended up going to
Oh,
another year's newspaper and found another story involving another paranormal experience. I'm like, I wonder how many of these stories there are. And then I'm like, I wonder if there's any books on this stuff because I like to read weird stuff. So I did a search for these books of old ghost stories from newspapers, and I couldn't find any. I'm like, oh, this is perfect. I'm gonna write it. I'm gonna write this book. So I ended up researching massive amounts of newspapers on these newspaper archive websites, and
clearly.
ended up compiling a book that was almost like 800 pages long. And I'm like, okay, no one's gonna,
Wow.
yeah. And so it was originally gonna be one volume, just one volume of History's Haunted Headlines. It was like 800 pages,
Holy
and
cow.
or 700, something like that. And I'm like,
The
okay,
compendium.
yeah. Well, first of all, I self-publish through Amazon. I'm like, okay, there's no way that someone's going to buy this book, a 700, 800 page book on Amazon, because I'm going to have to charge an arm and a leg for for this book just to make some kind of something off of it. Um, so
Oh yeah.
I ended up splitting it into multiple volumes. I decided to go with 5 volumes. I have 4 of them written and published already. I'm going to work on a 5th one in the near future. But that allowed me to lower the price of the book. Yeah, Jenny has one.
You guys see it?
Yeah.
I have volume 1.
Yeah. So this allowed me to lower the price of the book so that people will be able to purchase it. I'm not making a lot of money off these books. I'm really not. But it's not about that. Ultimately, it's about sharing my passion for what I enjoy. And what I enjoy is researching and writing and uncovering history that's been lost because these ghost stories that appeared in 19th century newspapers, they were read once and those papers were then thrown out and
Yeah.
forgotten about.
Right.
So now I want to bring these stories back to this new generation and reintroduce them to a whole new era, basically, of history or paranormal history enthusiasts. So that's what I decided to do. And there are lots and lots of stories. Some of them are wild. Um, I can go through some if you like.
Yeah, I mean, some are funny.
Mhm.
Some are like there's people who predict deaths, and I mean, like it's. But let's start with the Fox sisters, because that's
Yes.
really where
Yeah.
this starts. Correct?
So yeah,
Oh,
so
yeah.
the Fox sisters,
Mhm.
they were the originators of modern spiritualism. So
Right.
I actually have their picture here.
Anthony's a big aficionado of the Fox sisters.
Yeah, that's one of the famous
Living in-
pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have Maggie, Kate, and Leah, the
Mhm.
Right.
Fox
Matter
sisters.
of fact, Maggie and Kate are buried in a cemetery near me.
How are they?
Yeah,
Yep.
I did a
Oh,
lot
okay.
of research on them because I was trying to get a documentary on them.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
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 They
Even
lived in.
Leader and her mother, Marie, they're buried in Brooklyn Cemetery. I know we're there.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Fox sisters lived in Rochester, New York. The home that they lived in is gone, but there is a plaque which commemorates the home. But the Fox sisters, they would spend time in their room playing tricks. They would take an apple and they would roll the apple across the floor, to the point that it just aggravated their mother out in another room. And she came in and she's like, "What is going on in here? Who rolled the apple across the floor?" And the sisters were like, "Not me. It was some spirit did it." They learned to make knocking sounds without being detected. And again, the mother would come in. "What is that racket going on?" And the sisters again, "Not us." So they figured, okay, we were able to fool our mother. Let's see how far we can take this. So they
Yeah.
ended up putting on public presentations as authentic spiritualists. They actually performed in theaters within and outside of the United States. The only thing is, Leah, who was the oldest sister, she was a bit greedy. She wanted to keep all of the profits, all the ticket sale profits to herself. She didn't want to share it with her
Mhm.
two younger sisters. And she had done this numerous times. And the sisters would argue about it. Leah would apologize and agree to split the profits with them, and then it would happen all over again. So this one time, I should say the sisters began putting on public performances in the 1850s.
Right.
I believe it was 1860. Pardon me, but I just look at the date here. It was in the late 1850s, I believe, that it happened again. Leah wanted to keep all the profits to herself, and again, her two younger sisters, argued with her. They're like, "That's it. We're done with this. We're fed up. We are going to expose Leah as a fraud."
Mhm.
Right.
But in doing so, they were also going to expose themselves as frauds. So they were killing their own careers to spite Leah. So
Mhm.
during one public performance, um, the two younger sisters announced to the audience, "We have something to tell you." And they came out that they were not legitimate mediums. They can't actually speak with spirits. The knocking sounds were produced by them by cracking the toe joints, um, which they became very good at, and that they have no actual powers. Um, this made them yesterday's news pretty quickly. I mean, they destroyed their careers as
Mhm.
legitimate spiritualists, but in doing so, they got the ball rolling for modern spiritualism to take off. So even though they no longer performed in theaters the way they once had, they were still celebrities, just kind of
Mhm.
has-beens. But they were the ones who got modern spiritualism to where we now
Yeah.
have it today. They were the
Right.
originators of it.
Mhm.
Um,
Right.
Now you get into the 1860s, and spiritualism is really blowing up now, especially with Civil War going on.
Right.
Actually, there was a lack of Civil War stories in newspapers during a lack of ghost stories during the Civil War because people didn't want to read about death or, death that can't be proven.
Mhm.
Right.
They were surrounded by death constantly. They were greeted with news in newspapers of travesties on battlefields. They didn't want to read about, oh, this spear that, a ghost scaring somebody.
Mhm.
They didn't want to read that kind of death. they had enough of it. After the Civil War, um, families wanted to know that their loved ones were okay in the afterlife. There was something prior to the Civil War called the Good Death, and the Good Death is when you pass away at home surrounded by loved ones. You get to say your final goodbyes, and you pass away surrounded by your family. In the Civil War, that didn't happen. You had these young men being killed and dying where they fell on the battlefield. There was no more good death. So families, parents of these young men or wives didn't get to say goodbye. There was no closure. So they started having mediums come into their homes and try to communicate with their significant other, their son, their father, um, their husband. And unfortunately, there were a lot of mediums that took advantage of this and charged families. And so there were, there was that side of it. But then it became so overwhelmingly popular, this spiritualist movement, that by the early 1870s, spiritualism became an unofficial religion. You could ask someone, what religion are you? And they would say, I'm a spiritualist. And because they were that much into spiritualism, the term paranormal wasn't around at the time. So, but spiritualism was. The term ghost hunter was, though. Ghost hunter was around since the 1860s.
Ghost hunters in your book.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Ghost
saw
hunters.
that. I actually
Yeah.
highlighted it. I'm like, it says ghost hunter.
Yeah.
They talk about hunting ghosts. There's an entry where they say they had to sleep an extra hour because they lost that hour hunting ghosts.
Yes. And when they say ghost hunter, they literally mean hunting
Yeah,
ghosts.
hunting.
So there was
On my podcast right
a
now.
period of the
Call
1860s
Mama.
where people would throw sheets over themselves and go out on the street at night and scare women and children and chase them back to their homes. And it was becoming a problem, especially in Cleveland. I don't know if that's in volume 1 or 2. I think it's in volume 1. Cleveland, I don't know what happened in
it is.
Cleveland, but okay. But Cleveland was overrun with these pranksters for a while. So these young men would build these hunting societies, these ghost hunting societies, and they would arm themselves with guns and baseball bats and knives, and they would patrol the streets at night with the idea that they were going to kill these people parading as ghosts. In fact, it's amazing how many police officers actually fire their revolvers at spirits, not even knowing if it was a human or not. They just shot at it. They were afraid. This was all new. Spiritualism was new. People didn't fully understand it, and people fear what they don't understand. So there was a lot of loose bullets flying around. But
Jeez.
yeah, and that just but from the 1870s on, it was an explosion of fascination with the paranormal, and that carried into the 1880s, the 1890s, into the early 1900s and 20s, and I think there's a little dip in the 50s, around that area or time period, but obviously it's back now.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Yeah, for sure.
anytime there's a war, spiritualism always has a upline.
Yeah,
And I feel because people want to, they want to contact, like you said, soldiers that pass over, and and that's how it started in the back with the Fox sisters, and as it went on with the spiritualism, because every time there was a big war, spiritualism goes up because people want to contact the ones that deceased, or and they want to hear from their sons, their daughters, or their family members, their fathers, because they didn't get a chance to say goodbye.
yeah,
So that's when spiritualism gets to. Every time there's a war, it's up climb. Right now, we have stuff going on, but yeah, every time there's a war, it always has that spike, because you also they got that village up in what do you call it? Upstate. Oh, I just had another.
Lilydale?
Was it?
Lilydale?
Oh no, Lilydale. And that's with all the spiritualism. That's a big village that they go to because of all, because some people believe, some people don't, and they just go there, and it's like all spiritualists live in that little town in in Lilydale, and
Yeah.
the Fox sisters started in Hyattville, in 'cause I did a lot of research on them because I was trying to do a documentary on the
Mhm.
Fox sisters and spiritualism as it went through, like what you did with the book. And I went back with the Fox sisters to when the Foxes were in Germany, where they're called the Fuchs.
Okay.
They weren't called the Foxes. And also, I went back with the mother. Her family's the Smiths, and they go back. But during the Civil War, they were on not Civil. I'm sorry, the Revolutionary War. The Smiths were they ran to Canada because they want nothing to do with they were sympathizers with the English, so they went there. So I got so much into that. There's so much. I mean, if you got into Foxes, there's such a history with the sisters individually and everything.
Yes.
You know,
It's a
Absolutely.
rabbit hole.
that
for
picture
sure.
you have there. Her last name was even Fox at the time. She was married, and the guy left her, and her last name was Fish.
Yes.
Because my documentary I was going to call Fish, the Fish and the Foxes.
I like that.
Fish and the
Yeah.
Fox. Fox.
Yeah.
See?
Would you like to know what back in 1886 what people or what a newspaper described a ghost appearing like a description of a ghost? So this is from the Burlington Democrat from Burlington, Vermont. And this is from August 1st, 1886. And it goes on to say a ghost is about 5'7" in height and weighs from 4 to 6 ounces. They aren't afraid of anything and will hang around a graveyard as careless as a schoolboy will around an orchard in green apple time. They are like a great many other things in this world, often heard of, but seldom seen. Then the newspaper goes on to say, I will give $1,500 to see a ghost and 250 more to own one. But I want one caught but I want one caught whole and not hurt. So
Oh,
that's what
Oh,
at least one publication thought a ghost looked like.
oh my
oh
God.
wow! So they want
5'7"
5'7",
specifically.
4 to 6
5'7".
ounces. Yeah.
Okay, so it's a little shorter than me.
Little shorter than me too.
Yeah,
Okay.
a little shorter.
But
But
weighs a little bit less than I do.
You know, no way down.
How many ounces? 7 ounces? 6 ounces? How many-
4
4 to
4
5,
to
okay.
6 ounces.
Yeah.
Is that
I
how
love
many
it.
ounces the body loses after it passes?
Yeah, I don't remember
Yeah.
what that was. I don't
I think
remember.
that was almost because
6?
they actually weigh a
Yeah.
person as they died, and as they died, they lost a couple ounces of,
Oh,
and
I
they
should
feel
know
that was the
this.
soul leaving their body.
Watch that whole thing. I should know it. Somebody will know it in the audience. Does anybody know? Yeah, we need a Ghostbuster trap. That's
Yeah.
funny. You have to catch it whole.
Well,
Oh,
Do
yeah.
they wear
I used
sheaths
to
or
investigate
not?
with this woman, and she swears to God that she had this crystal ball, and she had a demon trapped in it, and it was her pet demon. That's what she's called. This is my pet demon.
My pet
It was
demon.
trapped in a crystal ball. I
Did-
don't know about that, but I mean, even if you
Did
have
she
a
pay
demon trapped in a crystal ball,
$1,500?
yeah, I don't know. What she probably did at that time. But
How
she had a
much was
demon
the
trapped
ghost?
in the ball.
Adam, 1,500.
Yeah,
I'll pay
He was gonna pay
$1,500.
1,500 and to see I think it was to see one. If I remember, and then 250 more to own it.
And
Okay,
what was
I
the
will
date?
say tonight. I'll pay $1,500 if somebody gives me a ghost.
Yeah, right.
Hey, you want to hear something funny?
Yeah.
I worked on a job I was working at the Javits Center, doing the car show, and one of the guys comes up to me and goes, "I know you do this crazy
You're the
stuff
ghost
with the
guy."
ghost. Yeah, he goes, I know you do some crazy stuff." He goes, "Can you send my wife a ghost to
Oh
scare
my
the shit out of her?" No, scare my ex-wife. He wanted to send his ex-wife a ghost. Can you send her a ghost? I'll give you the address and I'll pay you for it.
Are you
I was like,
kidding
no,
me?
I can't do that. I was thinking back, like, you know something? I should have took the money, sent an empty envelope to her.
Yeah, right.
You know,
Oh
but
my
yeah, he
gosh.
wanted to send his ex-wife, a ghost to
Oh
haunt
my
her.
gosh. That's
I'm like, that was
hilarious.
funny. Yeah,
Yeah.
that happened in Jameset. It's like, oh, it doesn't work that way.
Can you send my ex-wife a ghost? Make it a mean one.
Yeah, the meaner the better. The more money, the
That's
meaner, the more
funny.
money you make.
Yeah.
That's funny.
That's
That's
interesting.
funny.
And
Yeah.
But
what
there
you,
is humor in your book, Adam. Like,
Yeah. So
there's a
yeah,
lot of humor.
yeah. So I tried to include everything, including skeptical stuff. I wanted to. I
Yes.
wanted to capture everyone's mindset of spiritualism as it was back then. So I have things in here that believers experience. So I should probably back up a little bit and say, back in the 19th century, if somebody felt they had a paranormal experience, if they saw a spirit, if they thought they heard something, if their house creaked, whatever, lots of people thought that houses creaked were, you know, spiritual in
Yeah.
nature. They would go find a reporter for their local paper, and that reporter would publish these stories. And this
okay.
happened nationwide. So that's why there are so many of these stories, these accounts, these
Hmm.
firsthand accounts, if you will, all across the country from all different papers, because people just wanted to share their experience right as they had it. So there's
Cool.
stories about hauntings, there's stories about skeptics offering prizes if somebody can prove that a spirit is legitimate, kind of like almost like, what
Hmm.
was his name, the great Randy, he
Yeah.
passed away recently, I can't remember his name, but he was offering like $1 million if somebody could prove to him that spirits were
Right.
real.
That it was
But
real. Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, no,
The
there was a
amazing Randy.
the
Sorry. The
amazing Randy,
amazing
that's it,
Randy.
that's it.
Yeah.
But I mean, there was an explosion of these stories in newspapers, and I'm trying to capture all that I can. But there was a time, specifically, I have one here, the St. Louis Globe Democrat, from 1880, February 5th, 1880. So the St. Louis Globe Democrat published lots of ghost stories, um, or ghost accounts, I should say, what people experienced, to the point that one of the editors was tired of it. He didn't believe in ghosts, and he's like, "This is ridiculous. People reading this are going to think that we're a joke of a newspaper. We're going to cut out the ghost stories." So they made this announcement in the paper. They put that ghost stories are no longer going to be printed in the St. Louis Post Dispatch. So one girl who was of high school age didn't like that very much, and she wrote a letter to the newspaper expressing her desire for more ghost stories. And I have her letter if you want to hear it.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
How
So,
old?
I'm
Like
sorry?
16? How old was she? Like 16,
Uh,
17?
it says that she was high school age, so I don't
Okay,
know
that
how
works.
old she would be. But so the letter starts off, to the editor of the Globe Democrat. Dear sir, it is commonly granted that everyone has a right to express an opinion. Oop. And this right I claim. Now, I want to talk about the ghost stories, as your correspondent has so contemptuously denominated them. I
Oh,
always have, and I suppose always shall, like ghost stories. I disagree with your correspondent entirely. In these days of light and knowledge, we poor schoolgirls are so crammed with facts from Monday morning until Friday night that to get hold of something that isn't a fact is positively refreshing. In our opinion, the best part of Hamlet is the ghost. At any rate, oh, I'm sorry. Where I get it? Oh, perhaps your correspondent never read Hamlet, as he has such a horror of ghost stories. At any rate, it seems to me that it isn't fair for one individual who doesn't like ghost stories, maybe they keep him awake nights, to want to deprive us poor schoolgirls of so much enjoyment. They don't keep us awake, no indeed, and we enjoy them. So, Mr. Editor, please put all the ghost stories you can into your paper.
oh my goodness.
And she signed
Free
it.
speech.
Yeah, she
I
signed it, a high school girl. Whether or
love
not
it.
her letter to the paper had any impact, the St. Louis Globe Democrat did continue publishing ghost stories.
oh wow.
I mean, I guess she argued it's entertainment and she's got facts crammed into her head all day. I
Yeah,
love the
yeah,
way she says that.
yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to go
And
where
she's
the
not
public
scared.
wants, where the audience and the
Yeah,
the
you got to
money is.
give the people what
People
they want.
what they
Yeah.
want. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and she's like, hey, just because you don't believe it,
Yeah.
that was
Exactly.
like, the First
Yeah.
Amendment right there. She became a First Amendment lawyer after that.
Oh, yeah, right. But yeah,
Yeah.
there's stories that I try to pull on all different emotions. There's murders that
Yeah.
turn to, that um uh turn into like ghost stories because of a murder. There is and there's some comical ones too. There's some that are just downright strange and bizarre
Yeah.
and a bit disturbing, I guess. I have one here to share.
Let's hear it.
Let's hear a disturbing one, and then
All right.
let's hear a funny one.
This is okay. This is gonna get a little weird, but
Okay. Weird
okay.
is good.
So
We like weird.
this is from the Davenport Gazette in Davenport, Iowa. It's from January 3rd, 1874. This takes place in Dubuque, Iowa. There was a young man who was to be wed, and just before his wedding, I'm going off the top of my head, but I have my book here in case I need to refer to it. Just before his wedding, his wife or his fiance came down with a disease. I can't remember what the disease was. I have it in the book here. I can't. Oh, typhoid fever.
Like
She
everyone.
contracted typhoid fever and passed away. And the young man was beside himself with grief. He was devastated. Um, his mother couldn't console him. Um, and she started hearing stories from him. So basically, he became bedridden because he was so depressed. He fell into this deep depression. He slept most of the day. And the only time that he told his mother that he was in a good mood and feeling more lively is when he saw the spirit of his wife pass through his room and sit in a corner of his bedroom.
Oh wow.
He described to her in detail what she looked like, the type of clothing that she wore, and and his mother was overjoyed at just seeing a spark of life in his eyes, talking about the spirit of his wife. So she
Sure.
came up with an idea. Now this is where it gets a little
Oh boy.
little strange. So she
This is where
said,
we go off the rails.
yeah, we're gonna go off the rails a little bit.
Okay.
So she looked very much like his fiance. She was very youthful in appearance, and taking the description of the clothing that he described his fiance being in, she went to a store and bought very similar clothing. And when she dressed up in this clothing, she resembled his fiance almost to a T. So I know it's a little strange, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Uh-huh.
so his mother decided she was going to make her son happy by sneaking into his bedroom at night and taking a seat in a corner of a room where he saw his fiance's spirit. And then
No.
when he woke up and saw his mother sitting there, she would see the joy on his face personally.
Mhm.
So
Oh.
so that's what happened. She put on the clothing, the same one that his fiance wore. She snuck into his room at night. She took a seat in the corner of the room, and eventually, at some point, her son woke up from his sleep, his depression, of his sleep. He propped himself up on his elbows. He looked in the corner, saw his mother, not realizing it was his mother, thinking it's his fiance. Then he looked over into the other corner. His eyes got very wide, and he said,
Oh
"My
no.
God, there are two of them."
Oh my God.
And he fell back in his bed and died.
And died.
But what would you do if you saw the two ghosts of your fiance?
Yeah, his fiance's ghost and his mother pretending to be his fiance.
Doppelganger.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my
Wow.
goodness. This is like on very David Lynch there for a minute.
That's
Wow.
interesting.
Yeah.
That's
that
a
was-
crazy story.
Yeah. So that's one of the more bizarre stories.
That's bizarre. I mean, just dressing up as your son's dead fiance. I mean, I get it. I'm a mother. Like, you'll do anything for your kids, but I might draw the line there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's
No,
it.
hey, you
That's
see
crazy.
him that way day after day, and you find
Yeah.
a way to make him happy. I mean, I get it. I really do. But
Yeah.
oh no, so he actually, that's like a good ghost story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That
Anthony,
might be
you
like one of those camp stories that we used to, with the Boy Scouts when we were doing it
Yes,
around the campfire. They used to tell stories.
right.
That reminds me of a
Like
story.
the flashlight
That's a
under there,
story.
and there were
yeah,
two of them.
yeah, and there
Yes,
were two of them.
yes. Oh,
Now,
that's a great story. I like
yeah.
that.
Now, Anthony, you are an artist. You can draw what you see.
Mhm.
And I have here a picture. You might appreciate this.
Okay.
It's a picture of a spirit that somebody drew and presented it to a newspaper to publish.
Okay.
Now, this spirit that somebody saw was in Hicksville, Ohio, and it appeared in the Hicksville News on July 28th. Let me get the year here. July 28th, 1887. So this is the image that this individual drew to present to the
Okay.
newspaper, and I thought you might get a kick out of this.
Oh wow. Uh,
Yeah.
okay.
Actually, that looks like something you would draw.
Yeah. No, I mean that drawing is actually probably somebody in a robe and like with a skeleton face,
Mhm.
and then arms and everything look like skeletons.
See, he's
Also.
not even phased. I'm telling you, like that
Yeah.
is something he would draw.
Yeah,
It's
so I
never
thought,
what you think.
so I thought you might appreciate
Yeah.
that.
The spirit
Yeah.
comes to you sometimes. Spirit, like with me, it comes to me as the more detail I have in the spirits, that's the more that's as much power they have to come to me to show me them. They want to
Mhm.
show me themselves that much, that clearly. But that's interesting.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
I told you earlier, I mentioned
cool.
earlier that there were skeptics who would offer to pay money to people who could prove to them that spirits were real. And there
Yeah.
was one skeptic. His name is Henry Guy Carlton. I have his picture right here. Oh,
Okay,
there we go.
Henry.
Yeah.
There he is. He looks like a skeptic.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
he
he-
was.
he was fixed.
Yeah. So Henry Carlton was a playwright. He was. Let me see. Yeah, he was a playwright, a journalist, and a humorist. And he was a big skeptic. He didn't believe in any of this spiritualism going on. He didn't believe in any of these ghost stories.
Okay.
So he
I like it.
he put up his own money and offered a challenge to mediums who would hold a seance and communicate with a spirit in front of a live audience in New York.
Mhm.
So this would have taken place in New York City.
Yeah,
So
it was a big back then. New York was
yes,
a big town for it.
yeah. So in the New York world, on April 22nd, 18. I have the date here. 1888, he offered this public challenge, and there were 11 points that you had to follow as a medium
Mhm.
to earn this money. He was putting up his own money. There were other people putting up money along with him, and I can read you some of the bullet points, some of the rules that had to be followed.
It was like a
Um,
challenge, like
yeah,
okay, yeah.
yeah,
I'd like to hear an example.
yeah, sure. So, okay, so
Yeah,
ba-
definitely.
back then, people would have written on slates. So, like the first rule is, if any slate writing is to be done, the slate must be kept in full view, and the medium's hands, feet, and other features carefully watched.
Mm.
Okay.
He refers to spirits as spooks. So he says, if spooks can write under a table, they can write above it. Writing under a table may be more wonderful, but writing in full view will satisfy me and should be just the same to the spooks. So he wants to see, he wants to make sure that no medium is
Yeah.
actually writing. He wants
Right,
to,
like no
yeah.
fishing wire. I know exactly,
Yeah.
fishing
Yeah,
line.
yeah.
I think
And
that's
again,
reasonable. The
yeah.
dude is reasonable.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
again, going back to the Fox sisters who actually would crack their toe joints
Yeah.
to create knocking sounds, he added that also. If raps or knocks are to be produced, they will be produced upon a table, which will be of my providing. And no knee joint, finger, or toe joint raps by the medium will be allowed.
Mhm.
There's I'll skip around some
Fair
more
enough.
here. Let's see. Oh, okay. Okay. If any spook personally acquainted with me wishes to introduce himself, he must write upon 2 slates, held in full view, his name, age, weight, and condition, together with a statement of the incidents which happened the last time we were together, whether full or otherwise.
Wait, so somebody he would know,
Somebody,
in
yeah,
other
somebody
words.
he would know who has
So
passed. Yeah,
okay. So last time
yeah,
we were together, we were at a bar. Okay, something like that. Like, okay,
yeah. There
we had a
was
beer
one.
together.
Yeah, this is an interesting one here. Okay, materialization of fruit, flowers, pie, etc., must take place in the open air as a guarantee of good faith, and I must be allowed to squirt pepper sauce into the eyes of an apparition, of whose spiritual nature I may have doubts.
Oh, I love it.
Oh
Yeah,
my God, I'm gonna call them spooks from now on because I just
spooks.
think that's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I like
Anthony,
that.
let's go find some spooks.
Yeah,
mm,
we're spook hunters.
I
yeah.
like it. Wait, pepper
Um.
sauce? Why?
Oh, because pepper sauce wouldn't bother a real spirit
Yeah,
if it was
Oh, I
sprayed.
see.
Yeah,
I see. So if it's a
yeah,
human being,
yeah.
a
So yeah,
living human
so
being,
yeah,
it's like
so
pepper spray. Okay.
So in these seances of the 19th century, I mean, these mediums would bring people with them to dress as
Right.
spirits, and
mm-hmm.
people were very gullible back then. People that would attend these
Yeah.
public seances, or even private seances, the spirit would come out. This person would come out dressed as a spirit and say, "I am your, your long lost grandmother."
Mm-hmm.
Who the medium knew that this individual had lost her grandmother a couple years ago. So they fed this information to the person pretending to be the spirit. And of
Mm-hmm.
course, the person who actually had lost the grandmother, they're sobbing, they're a mess,
Yeah.
saying, "Oh my God,
Yeah, yeah.
grandma." And so that happened quite a bit. In fact, I have it in a few of these books. There were brawls that occurred during seances. Yeah, there were skeptics in the audiences, and these would happen in people's homes. There were skeptics in the audience,
Mm-hmm.
and a spirit would come out and look right at a skeptic and say, "I am so and so. I'm your lost, I'm your friend
Right.
that passed away
Mm-hmm.
3 years ago," and the skeptic would be like, "No, you're not." And the spirit
And
would try to convince him that he was. And it got to the point on some occasions where the skeptic would charge the spirit and actually tackle them, and there'd be this
what?
big fight going on. Yeah, people would come
Yeah,
up, and yeah, it gets
that's
I'm
wild.
sorry. Is this respectful to laugh? I find that hilarious. Like, yes, you
you
are.
know,
No, I'm not. Yes, I
yeah,
am. No, you're not.
it is
Yes, I
it
am.
is
No, you're
um,
not.
what it is actually the people that are frauds are actually being, you know,
I
proven
mean,
that they're frauds. Harry
yeah. I mean,
Houdini was with
not
all
that I
that
like
too. I
fighting,
remember
but it's
Harry
pretty
Houdini.
funny.
Yeah,
Yeah, and that happened
that's
on
great.
more.
Have
Yeah, that
some
happened.
pepper in your
Yeah,
eyes.
yeah.
Oh
It happened on more than one occasion, and it's
my
it's
goodness.
it's sporadically throughout the books these fights that occur during seances.
Mhm. That,
Yeah,
that's
I mean, that's wild.
Yeah,
And people actually believed it. Like I
people
walk out
did.
and I say, I'm the ghost of your,
yeah.
Yeah,
whatever, cousin.
I
yeah.
kicked
What?
I
There
just
was
kicked my great grandfather's butt. That's a spirit.
a
I'm the ghost. I mean, really?
I'm the ghost of your
I
past.
understand people were gullible. I really do. And
Mhm.
and people are still gullible, trust me, but not
Yeah,
that gullible. Wow.
Yeah,
but
and there
remember
were
back then.
mm,
I mean, people praised like back as we get more advanced in as human beings. Remember, people used to be afraid of the moon. You
Oh
yeah,
know,
yeah.
true. Yeah.
there's an eclipse. It's the end of the world. You
Mhm.
know,
Right.
so
Right.
as we get more advanced, we start understanding more stuff. Back then, it was still new. So people were like, oh wow, there is a ghost. There is, and they wanted to believe so bad that they made themselves believe.
Mhm.
Then you got the skeptics that do stuff like that prove that hey, this person's stealing your money. And that's what happened. So
Yeah.
that's in a way, it was good that they did that. You know, because now the ones that were really with the abilities and had the gift to actually go out there and do it. And then you get these people. So you get all the frauds out of there.
Mhm.
And we still
Yeah.
got them nowadays. You
Sure.
just look on what we have on social media, and the people that are out there, and you look at some of the stuff like, are you really? Is that true? You know what I mean? It's like,
Mm.
Yeah.
but it still
Yeah.
goes
But
on today, but not as to that advance where they dress somebody like a ghost and have them walk in.
Yeah.
no, that's pretty crazy. But if you want to believe, you want to believe, right? I mean,
Yeah,
like
of
that's
course.
powerful, right,
Yeah,
Adam? Like
absolutely.
it's super powerful.
Yeah.
that's
And
wild.
there's some funny things in your book. Like, I mean, I thought there was a story. I hope I'm not going to get it wrong about chasing a girl, and it was so funny. It was like, well, I would chase that girl too, or something like that if I
Is
was a
that the
ghost, or
one
something
where
like that. It was like a
that,
ghost chasing a girl, and the guy was like, "Yeah, I would chase her too if I were a ghost, like a pretty girl
oh,
or something." Like I was laughing.
oh, that one. Yes, yes.
I
There was
forget,
okay. I
but
thought you were
something
talking
I
about.
read this a while ago, but
Oh,
it was
okay.
fun. I did laugh. I mean, there were times I laughed like at some of the stories, but some of them were like really wild, like you said, like this house getting robbed or something, and people blaming ghosts for
Oh
things that
yeah,
other,
They still
yeah,
do that to this day.
like
They
yeah,
do
like my
everything
house got robbed, it was a ghost.
mm, yeah. And
It's
and
fascinating.
yeah, and going way back to the 1850s now, 1857. I mean, you mentioned houses. People actually wanted ghosts in their house. It
Right.
was this fascination. People wanted to study ghosts. Um, they wanted to understand them. They wanted to understand what spiritual energy was. And so people would put uh, ads in newspapers asking if anyone has a ghost, send it to me. And I actually
Anthony,
have
send
one.
him a ghost.
Yeah, I have one here from
Throw a stamp on an envelope. I'll send it right out.
yeah, March 10th, 1857. This appeared in the New York Times.
No way.
This was in the New York Times, and I'll read it to you. It's a little tough to see, so
Okay.
I'll read it to you. But there's the old
Oh
ad
my,
right there.
wanted.
Yeah, and
Wow.
It's
it says wanted by a skeptical family. A house said to be haunted, which may be had at a low rent, either in town or country, if within
okay.
reasonable distance of the city. And then they give their address, their address box number 3306. But there were other instances where people put their
Yeah.
address of where they want this ghost to be sent, and they were willing to pay money to have
Oh
this
my.
spirit sent to their home.
In this book, you have an entry where someone's looking for a haunted house. In the
Yes.
beginning, I remember that. Yeah, looking like specifically wanted a haunted house.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like that's
and
so crazy.
We
I
we
know,
know
and
people that do that to now. How many guests we had that actually were drawn to houses that were haunted and they end up buying them?
That would be cool, but mine's
And we know
not.
people that actually bought
Yeah.
houses that have
Um,
hauntings. That's interesting.
but
Wow.
yeah.
another theme that I noticed in this book, I'm just going on with us, was like ghosts who predicted things, ghosts who came and warned of things, right? Or like an omen almost, right? In some of it. Like,
Mhm.
do you notice that as a pattern? Like, I'm somebody's going to die and then they do die, or a ghost gives you a warning.
I haven't come across too many of those incidents. Um, I mean, I've come across stories that I've included in the book of people having heart attacks and dying after
Right.
being after seeing what they believed was a ghost, or even a prankster scaring them. They would just have a heart
Sure.
attack. Yeah. But
Yeah.
I haven't come
No,
across too
like
many of
messages
those.
from beyond, like this is going to happen, or you haven't come across anything like that.
I did come across one story. It occurred in Boston. I don't remember the year, 1870s possibly. Um, it was actually someone who lived in Canada and took a trip down with friends to Boston. His wife stayed behind to watch over the house up in Canada. And while he was in Boston, he saw the reflection of his wife in a mirror when his wife wasn't with him. And he took that to mean that something happened to his wife.
Yeah.
And then he received word the following day that she had passed away. Just
Okay, I think that's what I'm talking
just
about.
suddenly passed
Yeah.
away. Yeah. So
Yeah. Boy.
yeah.
And that's a common thing. A lot of people do see.
Yeah. Now.
I see my
Yeah.
grandfather, and my grandfather, a strained grandfather, when I was about 10 years old. I went to the bathroom and I seen in behind me a man, an old man. And I really haven't met him before. I met him like twice before that
Mm.
because the man was like in a nursing home and he had a lot of issues and they didn't, he wasn't much with the family, pretty much a straight type of thing. But
Right.
I seen an old man behind me standing, and so I'm like, I go running inside and start telling my mom, I'm like, Ma, I just seen this guy staring at me. He looked like Daddy, but he was much older, and he didn't look healthy and stuff. He just looked staring at me, from behind me, and we got my mother said we just got the call. Your grandfather died.
Oh.
Wow.
Mm.
Yeah. Matter of fact, actually,
Yeah.
one of the drawings I have is of you see me standing there with the man behind me. But yeah, my mother that happened to me.
Wow.
So it's interesting.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's definitely themes, throughout. Like, did you notice as you did volume 1, 2, 3, 4, like that different themes kind of took over, or are they all similar throughout? Because we're people,
I mean, there's lots of different. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say a theme, but the stories tend to get wilder as time goes on
Oh,
because now
okay.
people are fully enveloped in the spiritual movement.
Mhm.
I mean, there were groups, there were studies done on on what is spirit energy, and there was a I forgot what they called themselves. Um, they were like spiritualist groups. One was in Boston, one was in Chicago, and they would meet and actually try to purchase or rent haunted houses to conduct investigations and try to find if there's anything. Or they would ask people to send in your ghost stories. Send us all
Kind
your
of like
ghost stories.
us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. In fact, some of the stories that I found, and there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of accounts within this series of books that I'm writing.
Yes, hundreds and hundreds. Even this one,
Yes.
just this one volume, so many.
So some of the stories have illustrations to go along with them, and some of them actually show the house, which is haunted,
Oh wow.
along with the floor plans and where in the house the spirit was seen.
Like X.
I love it.
Attic.
And what's interesting is
Basement.
I'm one of those people, I don't know. Again, I go down rabbit holes, and if I see an address, because they used to give addresses of these houses,
Oh, yeah, you got to go.
yeah,
Mhm.
Mrs. Smith saw, she relays the following incident of her home at 80, whatever avenue. So I mean, so addresses were actually published, and that actually caused people to gather on these properties day and night, wanting to look in through the windows and see if they could see any of the activity themselves. There were
Mhm.
reports
That's so
throughout
cool.
time of items being thrown at people within the house, or people even being picked up themselves and thrown. And of course,
What?
addresses are given, so people know where this house is, and they go on the property and they want to see it for themselves. People in the 19th century were bold. They were bold. Some people would ring doorbells in the middle of the night and ask to come in and investigate. That, yeah, and it's all in the books. It's
Yeah,
fascinating.
it's
But
good. I know what
to
you're
this day,
saying.
people
Yeah.
do that. I know
Yeah.
a bunch of people
Oh,
that own
yeah.
locations, and they still have people. I mean, the Shanley Hotel. The
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
people ring in the middle of the night. Can we come in and look? Or
Mhm. Can we
during the
just
day.
come in?
Oh yeah, but these are
Yeah.
private residences that people are
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
knocking on doors and hey, I know it's 2 a.m., but can I come in and look around?
It's
And
private.
sometimes the homeowner would say, yeah, come in.
Mhm.
And
Come on in.
most of the times he said no. And some of them had to be turned away with shotguns. But with these addresses that I'm finding, I do a Google search of these
Of
addresses to see if
course.
the home is still there. And on several occasions, yes, the home is still there. And I
That's
find it
cool.
fascinating that the people that live there now have no idea that their home appeared in a newspaper of the 19th century as being haunted. And there
Mhm.
was
And you
a
tell
part of,
them. Do you tell
and
them?
well, there was a part of me, and I thought about this, and others had suggested this also, of writing them and including the the um the article along with any
Right.
illustrations and saying, "Did you know this about your house?" But at the same time, even though I think it's pretty cool it's a pretty cool idea.
Yeah. To
You don't know
you.
how you don't know how people are going to take that.
Exactly. Like to you,
If
it's
It's cool
cool.
to you. It's
yeah,
cool to us. But that
Yeah.
may like what?
Yeah.
No.
yeah. I mean,
I was gonna say
that may
ethically, nah.
Mhm.
yeah, it may terrify them. It may terrify
Yeah.
that person, or
It may
also
ruin their
for
lives.
yeah,
Yeah.
also for religious reasons, it might rub them the wrong way, and so
Right.
I don't want to intrude on their privacy doing
But
that.
if you ever met them, you could say, "Oh, do you know much about your house?" And you'd probably be able to feel them out
Yeah,
a
yeah,
little
yeah,
bit. Like,
yeah,
Do you have anything strange happening?
yeah.
It's
Right.
documented back in the
you don't know
1800s.
me. It's
Yeah,
2 a.m.,
it's a nice
but I'll give you
segue
fifteen
into
hundred dollars
yeah,
Yeah,
if you show me a ghost. No, no,
yeah,
really, no. But I get it. I
crazy.
think that you thought better of it, and that's the right
yeah,
decision.
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
I
I
mean,
think
if
if
they
I if
ask
I
you, great,
yeah, but I think if I actually did that, I would have felt guilty about it. It would have been
of
on my
course.
conscience that I'm like intruding on their privacy and get
Mhm.
giving them something they may not want.
Yeah. Some
Yeah,
Yeah,
people
I
might like,
agree.
oh, really? That's cool. Then other
Yeah,
people
no, I
like,
agree.
yeah,
like
I
you said,
agree.
especially religious people that think you're some kind of demon person, bring the devil into the house and stuff.
hmm
So, you know, it
Yeah,
has it's a it's a two-way street there. You don't know which way to go, but
yeah.
yeah. But
so
if they
yeah.
ever wanted to know, you'd be a great resource.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
get a question. How? I mean, you all these newspaper articles. How do you get them? Because I know it's not like when I started my genealogy back in the '80s,
Mhm.
and I would just go to the libraries with the microfiche.
Oh yeah, yeah. I remember those.
Okay,
Oh yeah,
I know you're not doing that nowadays because not
No,
much
no, no.
things on that.
I go online. There's newspaper archive websites that I
Okay.
subscribe to, and I just go. I do a search. I do general searches. I do specific searches
Hmm.
by location, by year, by keyword, and it comes up with. It's still once it comes up with the results, it's still a lot of going through the papers, and
Hmm.
let me tell you, it takes a lot of my time, but that's what happens when you don't have a social life. So I'm okay with it. I I
no,
don't really have a social life, um yeah, so because of my lack of social life, I have time to dive into this research.
Yeah,
And I love it. I love it. If you were to tell
wait,
me
what's a social life?
exactly
I
what is
know
the social life, I don't know.
it doesn't
But
happen no more.
Wait, what's a social life? No, I get it. Yeah,
I heard about those things.
I get it.
yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
someone told me about that once. I just don't know.
So you got it on
Anthony
those
loves
sites.
you weren't done. I'm sorry, Adam. Finish, and then I have a
oh
question.
no, I'm done. So,
Okay, Anthony is big into cemeteries because he grew up between so many cemeteries in Queens. They're
Nine.
just surrounded by cemeteries, famous ones, right? What's your best cemetery story?
ooh, I mean there's several. Wow.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be the best. Just can you tell
Just
us a good
like
one
there's
that
so
you
many
were?
stories. There's so many stories I've uncovered and written in the book that I can't remember them all. But I mean,
Yeah,
there's been people have been coming home late at night, and shadows are seen, um, running through the cemetery to the point that police officers were then called to come back to the cemetery with the person. Of course, the police officer had the revolver already and would
yeah.
shoot at the ghost.
It's like, would they think it was a person or they're trying to shoot the ghost,
Well,
kill a dead
kind of
person?
both because
Okay,
there were pranksters. There were a lot of pranksters back then, and
yeah,
so I don't know why a police officer would want to just shoot a person, a prankster, but I think
yeah,
the officer was fearful because what
yeah,
if this is a real ghost? What if this is real? And and not much was really understood about the paranormal at the time. So
Mhm.
again, you fear what you don't understand, and even if you thought it was a person, there's always that chance it may not actually be. And I think fear just took over, and they just fired at it.
Hey, I got it.
Yeah, well, also you don't know if you're in a location like that. If it is a person, you don't know their intentions. So
Yeah,
yes, you're gonna go in there with your gun out because you don't know if they're there for a joke or actually to mug somebody or hurt somebody, or
yeah, of
maybe they might
course.
even have a weapon themselves. You
Yeah,
know.
and actually, Thanksgiving is coming up, and one story I forgot what year it took place in 1880s, sometime in the 1880s. This woman was bringing home a turkey for Thanksgiving, and she walked past the cemetery, and the turkey was grabbed out of her hand, just yanked out of her hand. She didn't see anyone do it, and she ran home and had no turkey for Thanksgiving. But she
Oh,
blames that some spirit in the cemetery grabbed it out of her hand.
yeah. And so, and
Okay.
the cemetery people there, the
Uh,
spirits, they had a good Thanksgiving because they had a nice
it's like
bird.
a ghost. It's like a ghost ate my homework, right?
And
Yeah,
Like
yes,
that's
yes.
that's
that's
come
crazy.
on.
That's interesting. Now, with the holidays coming, do you have any good holiday stories? Because you got
Yeah,
Christmas
that's a
coming
good
and
one.
New
I like
Year's.
that
Ooh.
one. There's
Holiday stories.
a lot of Christmas ghosts. A lot of ghosts
There
and
are.
Christmas holiday.
I
Yeah,
haven't come across
past,
though too
present,
many
and
ghost
future.
stories, too many accounts from around Christmas. Surprisingly, I
Yeah,
can look.
you
I
would
can look
think.
real quick. Yeah, I mean, I can look real quick and see if I can find something.
You would definitely think like around like a holiday. I mean, there's obviously famous books written about that,
Oh yeah.
but I mean, it's so emotional as
Mhm.
well, right? And people are missing people.
Oh yeah.
They're missing loved ones. So you would think that they might see something.
Yeah. There is a story. This did happen in December. I don't remember the year. I think it was the 1870s. And I'm going off the top of my head because I don't have my book marked for the story. But
Hmm.
there was it's not necessarily a Christmas story, but it happened in December. Um this couple, they were living at they lived together, and the wife had a bad cold, and she sat in the kitchen. She put this red scarf around her throat. I don't know if it was to cool her off or whatever, but she had something in it, some ice. I don't know, but anyway, um, she had a sore throat, and she put a red scarf around it, and she had just made her husband a bunch of mince pies because he loved mince pies, and he ate. I think it was like 4 or 5 of them before he went to bed, like 4 or 5 whole mince pies.
Oh,
What?
Um, then he started feeling tired, so he went to bed. His wife said she wasn't feeling well still. She was going to stay up for a little while, so she remained in the kitchen as he went to sleep.
Hmm.
Um, Sometime in the middle of the night, he and the house that they lived in, there was a murder in the house. I forgot to mention that part. That's pretty important.
Oh,
There was a
okay.
murder in the house, and the woman who was murdered, her throat was slit.
Oh,
Um, so the husband wakes up in the middle of the night, and he looks out into the hall. And he sees in the faint glow of the moonlight a woman standing there with a slit throat, and he's terrified. He sees blood on her throat; it's all red. He's terrified. He tries to scramble and jump out of the second story window of his home. The woman grabs him and pulls him back inside, and the two tussle around for a half hour before the man collapses from exhaustion, and finally he wakes up, and he sees his wife standing over him with the red scarf around her neck, which he had mistaken for the woman whose throat was
oh
oh,
slit.
wow.
And she said, "If I knew you were going to act that way, I would never make you another mince pie in your life."
what was in those pies? Like there were mushrooms in those pies.
Yeah, so
There might have
something.
been.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm joking, but I'm not. Like there's some kind of hallucinogen in those pies.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so yeah, that red scarf he mistook for that woman with the slit throat, and I know
No
I
wonder
could
you
tell it.
like those pies.
Yeah, and I know I could tell it better. I could tell the story
I know
better if I
that's
had the actual quotes from the
That
paper,
was a great
which I
story. What are you
have
talking
here.
about?
But
funny.
No, I totally get it. He because she had the red scarf, he hallucinated that
yeah,
it was the slit throat. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
They
That
put
makes sense though. 'Cause
hallucinations
we have
in
nightmares
fire,
like that
too.
still, don't we? Like you see something on TV or you read something and you shift it in your mind in your nightmare.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
It's a
I
good
never
thing
had
no one got hurt.
what is a mince pie. I have no idea what a mince pie is.
I don't know what a mince pie is either, but I'm a vegetarian. So what do I know?
Is it a fruit in there?
I think it's meat. Someone wrote meat in the chat.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Mince
I
meat
know
pie.
what
Okay,
I
minced.
okay.
never
I know
had it.
what minced
Yeah,
beef
yeah,
is.
very
Like
bad.
mince.
So mince
You
meat pie.
you make cheeseburgers out of minced beef, correct? Like so. I
Cheeseburgers
think
out
it's
of ground
probably
beef.
mint or whatever you call it.
Ground beef, hey.
What do you call it in this
You
country?
vegetarians over
Ground,
there don't
right?
know how to call it chopped meat. It's called chopped
Chop.
meat,
Okay, right.
not
I call
chopped
it
grass.
minced. Yeah.
There's also so in 1866, on March 5th, 1866, the Chicago Tribune published a séance. And in the séance, which took place in Chicago, John Wilkes Booth came through the séance.
Oh wow.
He
Here
came
we go.
through. He came through, and in his own words, in his own supposed words, he told how he assassinated Lincoln and what occurred after that. It's pretty lengthy, but I do have the whole transcript of the séance in.
Wait, okay, so
Oh
John
wow.
Oh,
Wilkes
it's
Booth,
in the book you
he
have.
is
It's in volume 1.
I
Yeah.
know. And I was thinking when I read it, my first impression was I was thinking he was going to say I'm innocent, but he didn't. He was like
No.
I did it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Make it proud.
You know, you just assume he's going to be like a ghost is going to be like I didn't do it, right? But
Yeah,
no,
but
he was like, yeah, I did it. And
Yeah,
here's
but
what happened.
what's interesting is during the séance, I could read a little bit of the back and forth, the questions and
Yeah,
and,
please.
and answers.
That's a great one.
Let me see. Let's see if I can find it here. Somebody asked, oh, here. Someone during the séance asked John, are you in heaven? And the response was no.
Hmm.
And it says in quotes, given savagely. Then the person asked, are you in the other place? And he said yes. Is there a devil down there? And again, John Wilkes Booth said yes.
Mm.
And again, in parentheses, in a manner expressive of the firmest conviction and knowledge. And the person asked, does he, the devil, treat you rough? And Booth says yes. And in parentheses, and the table kept up for some minutes a continual jig, as if the very thought of his treatment put John in a rage. The person asked, do you think you deserve it to be treated harshly? And John, with thundering emphasis, says no. So was he was yeah, he didn't deny that he killed Lincoln, but he didn't think he should be punished for it.
No.
Yeah, well, he thought
Maybe he thought
was right.
he was justified.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Well, it's him and his whole group there. Well, they were justified.
Yeah, and then he goes
Yeah.
on to say, that the South will rise again.
Hmm.
Yeah.
How did that work out for him?
Yeah.
So even in death, he's still,
Mhm.
a Confederate sympathizer.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
You got the
Wow.
fanatics that believe that whatever they do is going to be right, life or
Right.
death. And they're really get ready to give their life for it. So
But we talk on this show, we talk a lot about how you are a lot of people believe in death, you are as you were in life. Like we say, if you're a jerk, right, you're going to be a jerk when you're dead.
Mhm.
So this guy was a Confederate. He's going to be a Confederate in his death.
Yeah.
Um,
Do you think it's possible, if it's an intelligent spirit, if there's a conscience, that the spirit may be stuck in between, I don't know, just stuck on the earthly plane.
okay.
And in order to move
dimensions,
on,
we usually consider that like they're stuck within dimensions.
Yeah.
and they want to move on, but they can't. They're stuck, and they realize they were a jerk in life, and they want to make amends. They want to redo it. They want to do some good for a change. Do you think it's possible a spirit can change in the afterlife and now become a person they never were while they were alive?
Hmm.
I don't know.
Oh man, now this is the rabbit hole tonight. I'm not sleeping.
Yeah.
I'm not sleeping tonight. Thank you, Adam. Thanks a lot.
You
Thank
gotta
you for
keep
the
up.
insomnia, Adam.
I don't know if
Appreciate
they
it.
could change because some people are miserable in life. They're not bad people, but they're just miserable, and whatever reason, because they're brought up away or something, abused as a child. So maybe when they go over, maybe they don't have to have those bad feelings anymore because
Oh, they're
they
free.
they don't have to have that wall up where
Hmm.
people put a wall up to be mean to other people. Or that's their defense. Okay,
Mm,
so now maybe
I
when
like
they go
that.
over, they don't need that no more because they're wherever they are and they feel safe. So maybe that's a possibility that people bring the wall down and now they're a better version of themselves. You know,
I like
but
that.
then you got people that are just bad people that are not going to change.
mm,
So
Right?
I feel maybe you could, have that wall taken down if you go over to every. I mean, every religion has something where you're going. You know, it doesn't matter. Because I'm a Roman Catholic, so we got heaven and hell and stuff like that. But other ones have different things. You know,
Yeah.
so
mhm,
maybe that's a possibility.
Hmm.
And you know something, the only way you're going to find out about that is when we're over there,
exactly.
and none of us are in a rush to get over there.
Hmm.
Nope.
Nope, nope.
Nope.
So it's going to
Yeah.
still be questions on our minds until, you know, another 40, 50 years, maybe 100 years. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then, but there's always, okay, this is way down the rabbit hole, but there's also like, as somebody who does paranormal investigating, do you ever feel like, am I really speaking to that person? Right? Like, am I really speaking to John Wilkes Booth? Or am I speaking to a guy who says he's John Wilkes Booth,
Exactly.
kind of thing. Like,
There's no way of knowing,
we know
there is no way of
nothing.
knowing.
I say that 10 times a day. We know nothing.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, well,
Yeah,
we
the movie
don't.
City of Angels. Did anyone see that? Someone in the chat said it's like the movie City of Angels. I feel
Oh
like I
no.
did see it. I
Mary
feel
Beth.
like it sounds familiar. Is that a Nicolas Cage movie? Let me know, Mary Beth. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That was
none of us know. Exactly. None of
Mm,
us know.
we're
Have
not
you
going
ever
to
been to
know.
the Columns Museum in Pennsylvania?
Columns Museum? No.
Can't recommend that highly enough.
Yeah.
What
Cannot,
kind of
first of all,
museum is it?
unbelievably haunted, like, and I don't use that word lightly, but it houses the Lincoln flag that he was wrapped in. It has his blood on
Oh.
it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's displayed in glass.
What I see, what you write about and everything, it's up your alley.
I feel
Okay,
like you
yeah.
would love it.
So definitely,
Yeah.
not just for the paranormal part, but for the history part and everything there.
Mhm.
I mean, there was some stuff there. I was like, wow. Even I thought it was so cool. And my son's a plumber, so I had to take a picture and show him. They have a radiator, and they open it up. There's a compartment inside the radiator where they put food to keep it warm.
Oh, it's
Oh yeah, like a
they would
bread
put
thing.
bread,
I had that.
right? They would put bread in
That
it.
Yeah, bread.
Yeah.
There's always like a little space. Yeah.
Yeah,
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 But
yeah.
and
no,
it
I'm gonna
opened up
send you
like
information
a
about it.
refrigerator door, but it's
Okay.
on a radiator, and then you could put stuff. I thought that was
Yeah.
so cool. I never seen that before.
Yeah, yeah, those radiator bread warmers. They were
Yeah, we have those.
yeah, they you have them?
I don't have them, but houses. I have like a 110-year-old house, and a lot of
Okay.
houses in my neighborhood have them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because yeah, the wealthy back in the 19th
I have
century they
radiators,
definitely
but
afforded it.
not with the bread thing. But I've seen
Oh,
them
okay.
with the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was the coolest thing. Yeah,
I'm going to send you information
very
on the Columns
practical.
Museum. One of the coolest places I've ever been,
Yeah, yeah,
and
please.
Anthony's been there too. And yeah, and it has the flag, and I think that's just it's amazing to think that somebody thought to like grab that bunting,
Mhm.
that flag that was bunting, and wrap him in it. And
Yeah.
and afterwards, somebody just found it and was like, "Yeah, okay,
Yeah, what
I'll
they
hang on to
did is
that."
they put his head on
Yeah.
it
But
as he
it's
was.
got like the
Yeah,
blood stains on it. It's
mhm.
so, and you love Gettysburg. I feel like you would relate to that, like that feeling of looking at that.
They got the actual flag in a special case that is it's air controlled, which
Okay.
makes pressure control and everything else because
Yeah.
it's such a because Lincoln's DNA is on that flag.
Yeah.
You know, it's stained with his
It's
blood.
wild.
I did. It's
Yeah.
up
I
your
mean, just
alley.
to stand there,
But
it's
more
amazing.
north. You're
Yeah.
down by Gettysburg, so that's more north. That's like not too far from the New York
Gosh.
and
Right.
the New
Milford,
Jersey. Is it New Jersey
it's
and
just
Pennsylvania?
literally over
Yeah.
the border. Like you can step on either side of it, New
Yeah.
Jersey, Pennsylvania, way up, like up through Sussex County. So
Okay.
like
That's up your
it's
alley. It's a
Milford.
nice size
I think
building
it's
too.
called Milford,
I've heard of
Pennsylvania.
Milford, never- yeah.
It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. And we've investigated there. I've investigated there a couple times. Incredible stuff happening there.
I want to make sure people in the audience know how to get your books and everything,
Oh
because
my gosh, yeah.
I don't want to get too far into it that we have to rush at the end. You know.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Well, they're all on Amazon. It's where I publish directly through Amazon as well.
Okay.
So if you were to go to Amazon and type in my name, the books would come up. Also, my website, thevictorianhistorian.com, or just victorianhistorian.com. I have links to the books directly to the Amazon links there as well.
I'm going to show pictures
Okay.
as you're talking in some of your books.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yep, that's the 4 that I have out right now. And I'm currently working on a book on 19th century Halloween. So,
Oh wow.
oh yeah,
That's the one?
that's my newest one. I just published that one a couple weeks ago, I believe. That's like
Novelties, time forgot.
yeah. So you know those in the back pages of comic books and magazines back in the 60s and 70s, you had like whoopee
The X-ray
cushions.
glasses.
Yes, exactly. Well, those types of items date back to the 19th century. And these items were offered in newspapers and novelty publications of the time. So I found a whole bunch of novelty items, got the history of them. I got some weird news events that surrounded them. Yeah, so and there's more books too. I don't just write paranormal. I write anything that's weird, strange, comical, relating to America's 19th and early 20th century.
Obscure. Don't forget that.
Yeah,
Obscure.
obscure. Yeah.
Obscure.
I love that.
You have to say that. It's obscure.
I love that word. I love it. It's so good. And the thing is, guys, like you can pick up his books, and what I did, I just kind of put it next to my chair, and I would pick it up and read a couple of the articles, and you don't have to read it all in one sitting. It's just really fun. You could almost just open the book and read one.
I have
Yeah, like I said, he's one of the best dressed guests we ever
yeah.
had.
He is. Yeah, he is. I should have done it. I should have put the whole dress on tonight.
Oh, that's okay.
I know I have
It's all
somewhere.
that
I know
counts.
we have like 15 minutes, but I'm looking at my list of, because nerd. I do have a list of questions that I wrote in the
Okay.
book.
All right.
Nerd. I wanted to ask you about themes. I wanted to ask you about
The sea monkeys. Somebody put down.
no,
Sea monkeys, yep. Sea monkeys.
Yeah, I remember those.
what is this? Wait, okay. What's a sea monkey? Now I'm gone. Like, what's a sea monkey?
Sea monkeys actually little shrimp that they send you the eggs and stuff, and you actually hatch them. And sea monkeys, they say that it's the picture that they give you in the book is like a whole village of like families of sea monkeys, and it's like a family, and they make them look like a human being with the eyes and everything. But all they are is shrimp that they put in and you hatch them, and they last maybe a day.
Okay. They never look like monkeys, Mary Beth said. Okay, Adam
No.
has a question. Do you publish anything about aliens or like cryptids in your books?
No, I haven't
Just
done any
go.
research. I did come across something involving a UFO. I believe it was in 1896 or 98. It took
Wow,
place
you're
in
good.
took place in Texas. I
Okay.
don't remember the town, but there was this cylinder craft, if you want to call it, that came crashing through someone's windmill and landed on their farm.
Wow.
and the pilot,
Sounds like a UFO
according
to me.
according to the news article, didn't appear human. He didn't appear human, although he was given a Christian burial.
Okay.
But yeah, that's but so I did come across that, but I haven't actually looked into alien or cryptozoology or that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
He says Aurora, Texas. Oh, sorry, Anthony. I'll do
Yeah, you
it. I'll
gotta
do
put
it.
it in.
Sorry.
Go ahead. I'm
Sorry.
taking out of
Sorry.
yours.
Sorry.
Oh,
Aurora,
yes.
Texas.
Yes.
Yeah.
Adam lives in Texas.
Okay. Okay.
So
Yeah.
I mean,
No,
it
he's
might
right.
be
Yeah.
interesting to get a book together because they must back then. They must have,
okay.
put something about a Bigfoot or these big hairy creatures in the forest or any kind of cryptics and stuff. I bet you probably could get even books with those.
Oh,
You know?
absolutely.
Because if you get back in those articles, if they're putting ghost stories in it, they're going to be put something about a big hairy man in the forest or something like
Mhm.
that, or some kind of wild dog, or that's a wolf. That's and even the Native Americans back then, they believed in shapeshifters
Yeah.
and skinwalkers and all that stuff. So I mean, you probably can. I'm giving you another way to look for. You probably
Yeah.
have so much stuff with the books you're doing now. You're like, just let me be.
I love
No,
it.
I mean, it is interesting. I just haven't gone down that path yet because
Yeah.
I'm so involved in, um, you know, I mean, I've written a Christmas book. I've written a parlor game book. Obviously the haunted headlines books.
Hmm.
Written a book about the Cherry Sisters, who were terrible actresses. You thought they were incredible actresses in the 19th century. Um, it's a wild story, actually, if you look up the Cherry Sisters.
The
And now I'm
cherries.
working, and now I'm working on a book about Halloween, how people in the United States celebrated Halloween in the
Hmm.
19th century. So the games, the foods, the costumes,
Hmm.
and also there were some deaths. There were accidents and deaths which occurred playing some of these Halloween games,
Really?
and
Really?
so I'm gonna cover those as well, along with including rare photographs and illustrations. Um, so interesting stuff.
Now you're talking. I'm definitely interested in that. That's going to be really,
I might
really
have to
good.
start reading.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
do.
I
You
got to learn to
do.
read first.
In fact,
He
I can
counts
share
on
with
me.
you. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, I was going to say I read the books and then I tell him what they say.
Oh,
Well,
okay. Well, there's
I
this
always said
game.
if I could read, I never became an electrician because all I need to know is
Yeah,
colors.
that's true.
Mm,
Electricians, all we need to know colors.
mm,
Wires. That's all we need to know. I don't need to know.
That's true.
yeah.
So,
There was a game that I came across for the Halloween book. I'll just share it really quickly. It was
Yeah,
it's
please.
called Apple and Candle because it
Uh-huh.
literally consists of an apple and a candle. But
Mhm.
what the purpose of it was, so you suspend the apple from a string, which is tied around the stem. You hang it from an overhang, a light fixture, whatever you may have to hang it on, and then you stick a candle into the side of the apple and you light it. Then you push and you spin the apple, so it's not just swinging, but also rotating rapidly.
Right.
And as it's rotating, there's a circle of people surrounding the apple. And the object of the game is for everyone to take a turn trying to catch the apple in their mouth without getting burned by the candle.
Yeah.
oh no.
Sounds like a fraternity game.
I know, right?
Wow.
And it was not uncommon for people to miss biting the apple and instead bite the candle, burning their mouth, their face, lighting their hair on fire, whatever else may occur with playing with
Oh my
fire.
God.
And this game appeared in game books of the 19th century, but there were so many injuries as a result of playing apple and candle that when early 20th century game books came out, it was then suggested to replace the candle with a packet of flour. So instead of potentially biting on a candle and burning yourself, now you could just be hit in the face with a packet of flour, potentially covered in it, depending
Oh
on how
my
many
God.
times you're hit.
Uh,
So, but
that's
that
I
was the
thought you were
game
going
that
to
was.
say poison, like
Oh
replace
no,
it with
no.
poison. No, like,
But that
because,
was the game. That was the
Cindy
game that was
Mouth.
played on Halloween. Yeah,
oh my God, I
That's
love it. And
crazy.
they called it Apple and Candle.
apple and candle.
Apple and candle. I
That's
mean,
so Victorian, right? Just call it
It
what it
is.
is.
It is.
call it what it
That's funny.
is. I love it.
Any more like stories like that? We got a couple more minutes to,
Yeah, like go for it.
because your stories are not really big, but they're funny. They're good.
I love
Yeah,
them.
yeah. What in terms of games, like weird games,
Yeah,
or
games, weird games. That sounds good. I
yeah,
think everybody in the audience would like to hear about weird games.
yeah.
Or anything you want to tell us.
Okay. Well, there is. I know we're coming to the end of the year, and there was so Victorians loved playing with fire. A lot of their, especially games involving superstition. And one superstition game they had was to be played either on Christmas or the time between Christmas and New Year's, because it was supposed to um, dictate how your year, the following year, was going to go for you. So what they would do is, if you had a long room,
Hmm.
you would line up 12 candles, one candle for each month. Or if you had a short room or a small room, you would line it up in like a horseshoe shaped pattern. But you would light each candle, again, one representing each month of the year, and everyone takes turns jumping over a candle one at a time. If they extinguish the candle jumping over that one, then whatever month that candle represents, that's going to be an unfortunate month for that individual, and they
Oh
can
yeah.
then prepare themselves mentally for a rough month. But if they jump over a candle and don't extinguish the flame, that's going to be a good month for that individual. So
Oh wow.
And
if
then
they
and then comes the self-fulfilling prophecy
yeah,
right
exactly,
after.
exactly. Yeah. So if they jump over the third candle, which represents obviously March, third month, and they extinguish the flame, they're gonna, January,
The whole
February is gonna
month.
be good, but now they're sweating March.
Yeah,
They're
right. And
yeah,
everything's going to go wrong because they're so nervous
yeah,
about it.
yeah. They're gonna
March,
will it upon
right?
themselves. Yeah.
Exactly.
My
But
luck, I'll jump off in January and fall on top of all the other ones and knock everything out.
I'm
there
sure
you
it's
That'd be
go.
my
happened.
luck. It's like, shit, it's gonna be one of those years.
Yeah, just give up. Just give
There
up and
goes the
stay in bed
whole
all year.
year.
The whole
Yeah.
year, I'm just gonna sit
Dude.
and not even get out of bed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Were they still doing a lot of it older times, right? Like they would peel the apple and put it in water and look at letters and read
Yeah,
tea
yeah.
until like the
So women particularly did that. There was a name for that game, and I can't remember what it was. But they would take an apple and they would peel it. They would make sure that the
right,
peel came off all in one try.
Mhm.
right.
Um, and then a
Not
woman
not
would
as easy as it
throw.
looks.
Yeah, I know. A woman would then throw the apple peel over her shoulder. I forgot which shoulder it was, right or left. I can't remember. But she was throw it over her shoulder and then look down at the ground and see how it landed. And if it resembled a letter, that was going to be the initial of the man she was to meet and marry.
There you go.
Oh wow.
Huh. I married an S. I feel like there was probably a lot of S's.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
think any
thinking
A's
S
in
was
there.
pretty popular
Probably
Mm,
no A's.
with a curly apple peel. Come
Yeah,
on.
it's like
I
a number
know.
8.
Yeah. There was another one. So are you I just actually learned about this one last night. So I'm excited to include this in the book, but I'll give you a preview of
We
Oh,
it.
get a
cool.
preview.
Yeah.
Yay.
Preview. We love
So
previews.
You
so
heard it here first.
this game involves, so are you familiar with the dizzy bat race at baseball games?
Yes,
Just spin
of
around the
course.
bat and then okay.
Oh
So
yeah.
this is kind of a predecessor to that, although it's not a race. So you would put a nail into a wall and then stick the apple on the nail. And
Right.
and then you would and then a distance from the wall there would be a keg, a small keg, that each participant was to walk around 20 times very rapidly. Of course they're going to be dizzy. As they walk around they have a stick in their hand. It's about 2 feet long. After they walk around 20 times around the keg, they're to run toward the apple on this nail on the wall and try to hit it off the nail. And of course, they're dizzy from running around the keg. They're gonna
Mhm.
fall.
Right.
They're gonna come way far away from hitting the apple. And this is the only reason for this game is to cause laughter. Is for people to
Yeah.
laugh at how far away they can miss hitting this apple. But I thought it was kind of interesting that it is an early predecessor of the Dizzy Bat Race, even
It
though there's no
really is. And
race.
they still do that. And,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, baseball stadiums for sure.
yeah.
That's funny. I mean, well, there wasn't an internet, so I mean, you got to make up Apple games.
Oh yeah,
I love how
you
many
have to.
Apple games. It's all apples.
Well, because apples, and I learned this yesterday also doing the research on this, is apples were um, significant to, oh, what was it? Significant to romance, um, and
Right.
good fortune, I believe. And a lot of the superstitious games occurring in the 19th century were revolved around romance and fortune. And so
Right.
apples were a big part of that.
Yeah, it's probably a common thing growing
Right.
in their own backyard if they had to, you know.
Mm,
Definitely.
And remember,
Apples are
apple a day,
yeah,
timeless.
keep the
yeah,
doctors away.
If you throw it
absolutely.
hard enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Duh.
Mm.
Stupid joke.
we got 5 minutes.
No, guys, I recommend these books so much. What's your favorite? What's your favorite, Adam? We have
My favorite
we have like 4 minutes. What's your favorite?
of history's haunted headlines. Ooh,
Which is your favorite? I'm sorry, not what. Which is your favorite?
oh,
Ooh, dates
of,
on this thing.
of the history's haunted headlines series, I'd have to go with either 2 or 3. The stories get
Okay.
kind of wild, and you don't even need to start with volume 1. I mean, the story, like
No.
you could jump anywhere around in the book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
like
Well,
a year.
sold. No, I'm definitely gonna head on to volume 2 next because it is so much fun, you guys. Really highly
This one
recommend
was
this.
cool. So novelties.
Yeah, they're all cool. And they're short, you know. I mean, like I said, who's got time these days, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
and it's not the book that's short. The book is hundreds of pages.
Right,
But
but I mean, the
each
stories
entry
are
is
short.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
the
that's
articles are
because
short.
yeah, that's because I have a short attention span, so I write books the way I would want to read them,
Yep,
and so yeah,
I
Smart.
it
like
works.
that.
Smart.
I like that. Well, everyone has a short attention span
Yeah.
now, so yeah, I love it.
Get it done.
Really good.
Get it done. So
Yeah.
it's coming towards the end of the show. We got 4 minutes
Aw.
left. So I just want to, not you have
Yeah, we've got
anything
like
else?
3 minutes.
You got to get his books. These books, they look cool. They really do. I might even have to start learning how to read to get a couple of his books. Once we get it on audio, what do you call it? You get them audio
Audible.
books, audibles. That'd be
This
great.
isn't. Yeah.
But you got articles, so it might be a little hard.
Yeah, it doesn't really lend itself to it. But
translate into
Adam's just gonna have to read it to you. I'll read it to you.
I don't like my voice, so
Okay, I'll read it to you, Anthony.
we got to end of the show. It's 3 minutes.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
Say thank you, Adam, for being here.
thank you.
And all these stories are wonderful. The audience, you guys are always wonderful. I want to thank all of you for being there. I want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. It's gonna the best day of the year. We feed ourselves with a lot of turkey and stuff like that. I know I
eat a lot.
Everybody does, but I want to wish everybody happy Thanksgiving, and just want to and I want to just say thank you, good night, ciao familia. Just remember, if you're going to go out there and investigate, you got to be safe because you want to look for the ghost, not be a ghost. I want to say good night. Forget about it. Ciao, familia.
Bye. Happy Thanksgiving, all.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Thanksgiving.
Hey, how you doing?